Dr. Bernardine Healy. We go now to Fort Myers, Florida. Rudy Dekkers joins us. He's the owner of Huffman Aviation International. The FBI has talked to Rudy about a possible suspect. Reports that two of the bombing suspects may have attended his school. Is that what they talked to you about, Rudy?
Yes, that's correct. They called us. They came by 2:45 a.m. last night, and they got from my managers several files about these students. And during the day, we found a lot more about these students. They've been with us from July till October, November last year, and obtained the first licenses they needed to fly.
So this was their initial training as pilots, right?
Yeah, it's an initial training. They came walking into the door, checked our facility, and choose to fly with us. And in November, apparently, that's what we heard and learned today, they went to other flight school to obtain jet training. We do not provide jet training. The training we provide as Huffman Aviation in Venice is solely for small planes.
Were they of a nationality other than American?
No, they were, my people took copies of their passports when they came in because they need to show an ID. And apparently one of them was in Afghanistan, and I don't know what the other one was. I don't see the files myself because I have my managers taking care of that. I have spoken with one of them in several occasions, and Mr. Atta, I spoke to him one time, 5 minutes.
That's Mohammed Atta, right?
Mohammed Atta, that's correct.
And he was one of the two. Were they good pilots?
I have checked today with the instructor and with the examiner who did the flight test, and they were average pilots.
Average. They had to go on to, now with your training, they couldn't go on and fly a 757 or a 767, so they go on to jet school.
Yeah,
were you shocked by all of this? Did they ever look suspicious? Did you ever have any inkling that these people might be involved? And again, this is all just conjecture. We don't know that they were the pilots on any of these planes.
No,
what do you make of it?
Well, I was shocked yesterday when it happened in the United States with the tragedy. Today, it was at my doorstep and not 2,000 miles away. We were in shock, and we're still in shock. We had no knowledge, of course. None of my people, I have 48 employees in Venice. None of them had any idea, of course. It's unbelievable. The feeling we have is undescribable. It's terrible.
Now, Rudy, if they were involved, they had been planning this for a long time.
Well, yeah, the first day when we saw what happened, we thought, you know, like every other American, would this be planned a long time ahead, et cetera, et cetera. We know now that they were flying with us from July to November. And after our flight school, they went to another flight school, so they've been planning this quite a while.
In the questioning, did the FBI give you an indication that they were strong suspects?
They did not spoke to me about the questioning because that happened at 2:30, 2:40 a.m. this morning, and they called me at 7 o'clock this morning. I briefly talked to the FBI when they're ready to leave the office, and they indicated to my employees that they thought that these were prime suspects. Yes, sir.
I guess in your life of training people to be pilots, you never thought that you would have people use you to go on to do terroristic acts.
No, you don't think about that. We do all the necessary work to know who customers are. We have a lot of foreign students coming over. These people were foreigners, but they came over directly in the front door. They said they've been flying with other flight schools in the United States. They were not happy. Choose our school to finalize their training.
Rudy, thank you. I know how tough this must be for you. Rudy Dekkers, the owner of Huffman Aviation International.
Thank you.
We meet now. Thank you. 3 experts.